How do we go from the judges' scores to the placements that get handed out with those sweet, sweet points? If you've ever wondered exactly how that works, my name's Joel. I'm a champion West Coast swing dancer and village idiot here in West Coast Swing World, and I'm here to help hopefully explain a little bit of how we get from scores to placements and show you that it might not be exactly the way that you think or the way that you assume that it is, but in the long run, I hope to show you that it's a pretty fair system and that with just a little bit of understanding, you can kind of see how the whole thing works. I thought it might be easiest to take some actual results and just walk you through how we would start to take and score them. So I have my wonderful little piece of paper here. I did tweak them slightly to show a couple different things or how tie breaks work, but we're going to go through and kind of understand how this whole process works and how we arrive in the end at the placements that are given out. How do we figure out who has the best marks? One way you might naturally think to do is to take the average, right? Average all of them, come to a number. Whoever has the lowest average, that's going to be your first place. At the end of the video, I'll talk about why that doesn't quite work out, but just know for now that's not how we do it in West Coast Swing. In relative placement, the way that we find it is we're going to take and see when a person or a couple reaches a majority of judges agreeing at a mark or higher. Once we find that, we're going to take that, compare it to all other couples' majorities, and whoever has a majority at the highest wins. It's kind of easier to show you than to fully explain it, so let's dig in. The way that we start, we have our couples. We're going to look and see who has a majority of judges at a particular number of marks. In this case, let's start with first places, right? And because we have 7 judges, 4 is going to be our majority. 4 is a majority. So if I look here, I have 1, 2, 3 first places. So I put a 3 under the column for firsts here. I go on to the next couple. They have none, so I'm just going to leave that blank. 1 mark in the first place column here. Great. None of the rest of those are firsts. No first place in that one. 2 first place for couple 6, 6. All right, so we do a 2 here. 1 first place here for 7, 7, and number 8, no first place there. So you can see out of the gate, 2 2's doing pretty strong. They've got 3, almost 4. Same with couple 4. Well, couple 4, 4 has 1, 6, 6 has 2, and 7, 7 has 1. Because no one reached a majority of 4 judges, we're going to go on to the next set of marks, which is our second places. So if I look here, I have 1, 1, 1. That's the 3 we had. Second place. Now we have 4, and we have majority. But we can tie at a majority, so let's keep going on down. We have 1 second place here, so that's going to give us a 1 in that column. Here for this one, first is their highest mark. We have no second place, so we still have 1 here. 7, 7, nothing there yet. We'll keep rolling. All right, 6, 6 has 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2. So they had 2 first place, but 4 second place marks. If we add that all together, they arrive at 6. So they have 6 of 7 judges agreeing that they were second place or higher. All right, we'll keep going down. First place, no seconds, they stay at 1. We have 1 second place, they will also end up at 1. All right, so now we have a tie for a majority of judges giving couple 2, 2 and couple 6, 6 first place. Okay. In the case of a tie, we look to see who has the larger majority. And here we can see pretty clearly that 6 is larger than 4. So 6 judges agreed that couple 6, 6 was second place or higher, while only 4 judges agreed that couple 2, 2 was second place or higher. That means we take this, roll it across, and because they had the higher majority, couple 6, 6 is going to take first place. Now, since there was a tie, we go to the next one, second place. They tied here, but they lost on that first tiebreak, and we're going to go all the way over and second place for couple 2, 2. Now, where this might seem a little strange and where this trips a lot of people up is if you look back at the first place column, couple 6, 6, who ends up in first place, only has 2 first place marks versus couple 2, 2's 3 first place marks, right? So it seems like with more first place marks, you would assume that couple 2, 2 would win. But actually what ends up happening is because we have a larger majority, no one achieves majority at first place. If they had 4 first place marks, couple 2, 2, they would have won outright, no problem. But because almost all of the judges agreed that 6-6 was second or above, and only 4 of the 7 judges agreed that 2-2 was second or above. The win ends up going to 6-6. All right, and this is where I would say like 80 to 90% of the confusion in West Coast swing marks ends up being is when we have results like this where a couple that had more firsts gets a lower position over someone who didn't. What you'll see is that there are actually cases where if there were, let's pretend like these ones were 2s just for funs, right? If these were 2s, they would still end up with a majority at 6, and a couple that went 1-1-1-2, right? 4 judges agreeing they were second or higher would lose to a couple that had all 2s but no 1s. You can argue whether you think that this is fair or not, but ultimately, again, we want to think about what is the majority? What is the most judges agreeing on, right? We have the largest amount of agreement here. Majority wins 6. They get first place. Let's keep rolling on down our little table. So we've worked out first through seconds. All the rest of these couples don't have a majority at that, so we got to go on to thirds. All right, so we add up our thirds here. We have 1, 2, 3. 3 judges gave them third or higher. Same thing here, 1, 2. 2 judges gave them third or higher. Still nothing here for 5-5. Must have been a rough dance. All right, 1, still just 1 judge. And this isn't uncommon, by the way, to see 1 judge giving someone first place and then the rest of them having slightly lower marks. Down here we have 2, 3, 3, so now we have 3 judges agreeing at third place or higher. Now you'll see we have no agreement. No one got to 4 third or highers, so that means we have to move on to the next mark down. That's going to be fourths. Rolling on, do we have any fourths here? 2, 3, 3. Nope, no 4. So the next highest mark is a 5, so we're going to stay there at 3. For next couple, we have 1, 4, 4, 3. We have 4 judges agreeing fourth or higher. So we now have a majority for couple 4, 4. But again, we have to keep going down to figure out what's next. All right, we have 1 mark at 4. All right, 5, 5 is finally getting on the board here. Couple numbers 7, 7. We have 1, 4, 4, 4. Also 4 judges agreeing fourth or higher. And then couple 8, 8 has 4, 2, 3, 3. 4 judges agreeing third or higher. Excuse me, fourth or higher. So now we have a 3-way tie for third place. And if we look at the first tiebreak that we used here, just going based on majority, 4, 4, and 4, all of these are a majority at 4 judges. So how do we break this tie? Well, the next thing that we go to break our tie is something called sums. Sums means, okay, we have a tie for the number of judges in a majority agreeing at fourth place or higher. Now we're going to dig into those marks. We're going to look at those 4 judges. And it makes sense that if you have a couple, or if you have a couple that is marked 1, 1, 1, 4, and a couple that is 4, 4, 4, 4, those 3 ones we think should help, right? So we go to what we call sums. Sums means that we take the sum of those majority marks, and whoever has the lowest sum wins. So if we take this down here, I'm going to switch just for funsies. If we take this down here and we look at the couples that we're looking at, 4, 4, right? 7, 7, and 8, 8. If we look at those couples and we sum together the totals of the 4 judges that gave them that majority at fourth place, I'll show you what I mean. So here we have 1, 4, 4, 3. 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 3, 11, plus 1, 12. So we're going to have a sum of 12. We'll call this sums. All right? A sum together at 12. Couple 7, 7, they have 4, 4, 4, 1. 3 4s in a row, that's going to be 12 plus 1, 13. So we can already see that we have a little bit of separation here, which is good. 88, all right, they have 4, 2, 3, 3. All right, 3, 3 is 6, 4 is 10, plus 2, 12 once again. So now we've done our sums for these 3 couples, and we see we have 2 of them at 12, both of which are lower than 13. All right, we had a 3-way tie for third. That means third, fourth, and fifth are all in contention here. Since one lost on this second tiebreak, they're going to get 5th place. So we'll bring them over here. And I believe the convention here, could be wrong, but I believe the convention here is to put the sum in the upper right corner. So we would say 12, 13, and 12. And from that, we're going to take them, move them all the way over, and they get 5th place. All right, we've done about half of our marks, but we're still rolling. Okay, so couple 4-4 and couple 8-8, still tied after that tiebreak. The next tiebreak that we go to in West Coast Swing is going to be what the quality or what the next judge's majority would be. So just for these two couples, we're going to take and add up how many now they have in 1st through 5th place. Okay, so we've already worked out couple 7-7, 4-4, 1, 4, 5, 4, 3. That's 5 of 7 judges. So we're going to put that in parentheses. 5 of 7 judges mark us here in that placement. For couple 8-8, 4, 2, 3, 3, no 5ths. All right, so they still have a majority at 4. Now, because we have a higher majority at 5th place or higher, that's going to give couple 4-4 the advantage. We'll take them, bring them over. 3rd place. Couple 8-8, they lost that tiebreak. Send it over. They would get 4th place. Just so you know, there is one further tiebreak. Let's say that we took couple 4-4 and couple 8-8, and they were tied all the way out. They were 5, then 6, then 7. So they have the exact same marks is what that means. Yes? Exact same marks. In that case, we would go to individual judges, and we would see for each individual judge, did one couple get marked above the other. This won't be a true tie because, again, they didn't tie. There was a tie break that worked, but we'll just kind of show you how this works. So here, Judge AA gave 4-4 a 1 and 8-8 a 4. So then we would put a 1 down here because that judge marked 4-4 above 8-8. 6 and 2, we have a 1 down here. 4 and 3, a 1 down here. 5 and 6, 5 is larger than 6. 4 and 3, down here. 3 and 6, right? And 7 and 6. Actually, this one should have been here. Get rid of that. This one should have been up here. But in this case, couple 8-8 would have won that final tiebreak if it had gone down to it, because the more judges, 4 out of the 5 judges, marked them above couple 4-4. Again, it doesn't matter though, because the majority of judges agreed at a mark and 5th before it happened here. All right, so we only have 2 places left to award. We need to figure out 6th and 7th. Where do those fall? We're just going to keep on going. We've got most of our marks done, but we got to keep it rolling. Let's look at 1st through 5th. Now, we looked at them here, but those are in parentheses. That means it was a tiebreak. So here, 3, 5, 2, 5, 3. All right, that's 5 marks. We have a majority here. 4 is still our only mark, 5th place or above. So that is going to stay there. It means we've got a simple majority here. Take it over, 6th place. And then last up, you can see that we would go 2, adding in that 6th, and then they end up with a majority at 7, all the way over. 7th place it is. All right. So this is then how we would arrive at, okay, couple 6-6, 1st place, 2-2, 2nd, 4-4, 3rd, and so on down the line. Again, what I hope to show you is that it's not so much about the average score as it really is about the median score. It's whatever score is in the middle that the most judges agree on, or again, a majority of judges agree on, that's going to give you where your placement lines up. Now, why is it important that we're using medians and not averages? Well, let's take kind of an extreme example, and let's say, just for funsies, we had a larger final where we had 7 judges, but they're placing all the way out to 15th, right? And now we're gonna have couple 1, 1, and couple 1, 2, right? We're gonna pretend like we have these same judges. And AA says they're 1, and they're 2, 1, and 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 2. It's seeming pretty consistent. 15th, 1st place, all right? I know that seems a little bit crazy, and again, we're missing some data here I didn't feel like we needed to do. 15 different marks. But if these were just the marks for two couples, it would hopefully seem pretty obvious that one couple was very consistent. 6 of 7 judges thought they won it outright, and one judge didn't. Maybe they're biased. Maybe they just saw the couple do something that was egregiously off time. Maybe it's their students are number 1, 2. I don't know what's going on. This happens more often than you think. I want to do another video sometime about how difficult it is to judge and what we actually end up seeing in the brief snippets that we see in your dancing. But this isn't as uncommon of a situation as you might think, and it's not to say that anyone did anything wrong, all right? Now, if we were to take and do an average of these, right? If we took the average score for all of these, 2 times 6, 12, plus 1, 13, 13 divided by 7, because we have 7 judges, is, well, don't worry, I did this math earlier. It's 1.86. All right, 1.86 average. Okay. This couple here, 1, 1, 1, 1, 6 ones, that's 6 plus 15, total of 21 divided by 7. 3.0 now is our average. And so you can see that one low mark or one low score has outsized leverage on where that couple places in a score that's in a system that uses average scoring. So here, couple 1, 2 would win, even though the majority of their marks are very different. One outlier judge can vastly change the marks or the scoring or the placement of where someone ends up in a system that's based on averages. This is part of the reason that West Coast Swing chooses to use relative placement. The majority, if we looked here and we went through a system like this, 1, 1, 1, 1, majority at ones, if you have a majority at ones, pretty much unassailable, there's no way anyone can take you on, that's first place. Couple number 1, 2, majority at twos, they would get second. Easy, no problem. This is part of what the relative placement scoring system is trying to do and trying to avoid, is having one judge use large ordinals that would be able to sway things. For what it's worth, this would work in the opposite as well. If these were all 15s and you got 1, 1, and then someone else got 14s all the way down and a 15th, that single first place would be enough of an outlier to drag the average up and cause the couple that got 15ths all across the board and 1, 1 to beat the 14th place couple that has all these 14s and a single 15. Once again, it's debatable, and there are different ways of going about finishing scoring, right? You may have seen in the Olympics, gymnastics, right? They take the highest judge's score and the lowest judge's score, they throw them out. This is a way of getting rid of outlier bias, and then they take the average of the scores in the middle. It's another way to kind of get at the same idea. West Coast Swing, once again, chooses to use relative placement because it gets the most information out of the judges. We're not throwing away anyone's scores without letting a particular score, high or low, have an outsized amount of leverage on what the actual result ends up being. All of this is to say, if you're looking at your scores or a friend's scores and you're kind of confused that you got 3 first places and you still ended up in second place when the second place couple only had 2 first places, you gotta think where the majority of judges reach an agreement at, right? Again, it all kind of comes down to democracy and how we reach consensus. Once we've reached a consensus on a particular score, we take that over and we bring that through. One thing that's useful to note, we usually have a chief judge on the floor in West Coast Swing, and the chief judge is also giving their scores. If we have an odd number of judges, we should never have to use the chief judge's scores. Now, why do we have the chief judge scoring then? Well, sometimes things happen where judges get confused, or suddenly they faint or have nausea and they have to run off the floor. Well, in that case, now we're missing a judge's set of scores. If that is happening, then we can replace those scores with the chief judge's scores, and that will then become that extra judge. We still have an odd number of judges. Everything works out. Yes? So for by and large in finals, chief judge's marks are never used unless there's something that compromises a judge. Could be their tablet fails, could be, again, that they have some sort of bio-emergency that they need to take care of. In that case, then you'll see the chief judge's scores used to come in. Chief judge's scores are, however, more often used to break ties in prelims, and that is a whole different kettle of fish, right? So I'm going to be making a video about how prelim scoring works in West Coast Swing, so you can see some of the similarities to how finals is judged, but also then some of the differences and how that ends up affecting how things work. All right, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, give me a like, follow, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff, and I'll see you on another one. Joel out.